Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sammy, aka I hate this game, goddammit. Well, I don't really, but there's a lot of. I think this game, out of all of the Call of Duties I've ever played, definitely had the biggest amount of BS you've ever seen. And the gameplay is actually. I don't do well at all in this game, but I just wanted to show you how bad a bad game can be on Modern Warfare 2. I've had worse games than this, but basically this is where the tubers were out, and it's really hard to do well because I don't think I did particularly bad. Like just watch the gameplay, but I think I go 27 and 31 in this game, and I thought, it's a worse gameplay. I thought, why not just show you how bad the game can be, because a lot of people tend to glam this game up, but if it gets bad, it can be really bad. Don't get me wrong, this game can be really fun when it's really fun, but I've heard someone else mention before, it's the most lobby dependent Call of Duty, because basically if you want to be a douchebag, this is the game to be a douchebag in. But anyway, the first one on my list isn't really that bad, but it does annoy me, and this is a personal thing, people, so don't start complaining at me, but I really don't like quickscoping. It really annoys me that a sniper rifle just does that much damage to you up close and that easily, because you've got that your black hole aim assist. I find it really irritating, and this is basically where it all started. And also it's sort of his ugly brother, the trick shotter. I just find all that stuff silly. It's just when you're playing Search and Destroy, I want to have a serious game, and that's where all the kill cams are, so they kind of tend to hang around in Search and Destroy, and it kind of ruins it for the people who don't want to play sniping. So that's my first one. It's not a major one, but that's the first one. So the next one I have is stopping power. Just the fact that there was nothing really to counter it, because it was just it's so useful that there was no reason to. I always used it, and it didn't annoy me that people used it. It's just the fact that basically perk 2 was pretty much dominated by stopping power, unless you played hardcore, which I did play a lot of at the time, where I used where basically cold-blooded became the #1 perk, which became problems in later games. But stopping power was just too useful. There was nothing in this tier really good enough to compete with it, but that was the set one. It didn't really bother me. I like the fact that there was a lot of damage. I thought that was pretty cool. So next one is boosters, and if you didn't know, this is basically where boosting began, because this is the game which introduced attack insert, which, to be fair, I think it's served its time now, because it's kind of really the only way to use it is to abuse it. Really, I use it a lot in Black Ops 2, and it is an annoying thing to use, because if you're playing the objective, it's so easy to win, and the only counter is probably equally as annoying as the EMP grenade. So if you're gonna nerf the EMP or get rid of it, then you really need to think about what you're going to do with attack insert as well. But yeah, you'd be playing a game of free-for-all, and suddenly you'd just be like, Harry, and I'd be like, well, I've been doing quite well, what's going on? You look at the scoreboard, there's one guy who's like 7 and 0, and then another guy who's 0 and 7. I actually got quite good at learning where all the booster spots were. It was basically a race to stop them getting a nuke, and it happened quite a lot. And anyone who had the nuke emblem, most of them, you knew it wasn't legit, because they just basically go to 10 free-for-all games, boost for the nukes, and then they'd have this emblem, so they would think they were really awesome, but everyone would know that they probably sucked. And it was unfair on the people who actually did it legitimately, because nobody knows, because everyone was just faking it. And the next one I've got is basically death streaks. These kind of suck, because why would you reward someone for doing rubbish in a game? If you don't know what death streaks are, they don't have them in Black Ops 2, so anyone who's new to the series won't know what it is. Basically, if you died like 4 times in a row, or 3 or 4 times in a row without getting a kill, then the game would give you another perk. And the perks were Martyrdom, which would basically drop a live grenade after you die. Painkiller, which was probably the most annoying, was basically it would increase your health to like 300% or something. Not for like forever, for 10 seconds, so give you sort of respawn protection. But it was insane, because if someone spawned near you and they knew you were, it was really hard to win that gunfight, just because they're effectively doing 3 times the damage that you are, which kind of sucked. The other one was Final Stand, where you basically drop into a last stand position, but you'd have a primary weapon. But you could also have last stand, so I don't even know what would happen if you were using last stand as a perk. I'm not sure, I've never tried it. But if you're using last stand as a perk, you drop into that, and then you drop the final stand. God, I think I'd have a nervous breakdown if I had to do that. I had to go against someone like that. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I just kind of don't see why they put it in the game. It's kind of where they started mollycoddling, and Modern Warfare 3, obviously a lot of people know about it, that they basically made it worse, but this is where it all began. and how they didn't learn their lesson this time, I don't know. The final one is One Man Army, Danger Close, and Noob Tubes. Was there another put they used? I don't think so, but basically it was a combination of all those used together. And it really sucked to play up against that, because they would just fire noob tubes. Like, if you were trying to play domination, ground war was the worst. Then they would basically just aim a grenade up where, you know, they'd actually learn the spots. Aim a grenade launcher up at the sky, fire off a shot, get some kills. And then what One Man Army would allow you to do is you'd basically, rather than a secondary, you'd pull out a bag and you could select the same weapon again. And that would effectively give you 2 new grenades to do over again. And the power on the grenades without Danger Close was ridiculous. And then the fact that they put Danger Close in to make it even more ridiculous. And then it was the fact that they also allowed you to just completely replenish your grenades, like, over and over again. I think it was oversight on their behalf. I don't think they really meant to include it like that, because people used to do it in you know, previous games, but you had to use scavengers. You had to pick up the packs, so it was kind of not as effective. But people could just camp and do this, and it's so annoying, and it's rife with him even today. And like, when the game first came out, nobody really knew about this, so it wasn't a problem. Well, nobody knew about it because, you know, it was a new game. But then when people started to learn it, and, you know, people post, I think it was actually Wings of Redemption posted a video about it on YouTube, and then that's it. It just blew up, and it was just so frustrating to play against, because it really takes no skill, and yeah, it just really sucked basically. And that's it basically. That's my 5 reasons, because I think this Call of Duty, out of all of them, it was the most flawed. And it would basically, if you want to be a douchebag, this is the one you want to play on. But anyway, guys, what was your worst 5 picks for Modern Warfare 3? If you haven't, if you played the game, feel free to chat below in the comments and stuff to let me know. And thank you for watching. I'll speak to you later. Bye bye now. Bye bye.